Okay, I have to refilm this one also because the video said it cannot be displayed. All right, that being said, we have to redo it. UDP IP Transport Protocol. The User Datagram Protocol is another protocol that is used to communicate data between devices. Unlike its brother TCP, UDP is stateless protocol that doesn't require a constant connection between the two devices for data to be sent. For example, the three-way handshake does not occur, nor is there any synchronization between the two devices. Recall some of the comparisons made about these two protocols in Room 3 OSI model, namely UDP is used in situations where applications can tolerate data being lost, such as video streaming or voice chats. This is why you see your video on Netflix when you just freshly pressed on a new video or a TV series. This is why you see it pixelated, or when you go on YouTube and see a video pixelated, because the packet is not is lost, some of it. Or in the scenarios where an unstable connection is not the end all. A table comparing the advantages and disadvantages of UDP is located below. We have advantages of UDP is much faster than TCP. UDP leaves the application to decide if there is any control over how quickly packets are sent, right? The application basically is software, the software. And the third advantage of UDP, UDP does not reverse a continuous connection on a device as TCP does. Disadvantages of UDP. UDP doesn't care if the data is received or not. It is quite flexible to software developers in this sense. This means that unstable connections result in a terrible experience for the user. Just refresh it. Thanks. As mentioned, no process take place. Okay, let's reset. Oh, you almost see Daniel. Oh shit, where is he? Daniele! I don't know where is he. He was there a second ago. As mentioned, no process takes place in settings up. No process takes place in settings. No process takes place in setting up a connection between two devices, meaning that there is no regard for whether or not data is received, and there are no safeguards such as those offered by TCP, such as data integrity. UDP packets are much simpler than TCP packets and have fewer headers. However, both protocols share some standard headers, which are what is noted in the table below. All right, we have the headers there. Time to leave, TTL. This field sets an expiry timer for the packet so it doesn't clog up your network if it never manages to reach a host or escape. A source address header is the IP address of the device that the packet is being sent from, so that data knows where to return to. The destination address is basically the reverse. The device's IP address, the packet is being sent to, so that data knows where to travel next. Source port, this value is the port that is opened by the sender to send the UDP packet from. This value is randomly chosen out of the ports from 0 to the entire range that aren't already in use at the time. Destination port, this value is the port number that an application or a service is running on the remote host, the one receiving the data. For example, a website or a web server running on port 80. Unlike the source port, this value is not chosen at random. And the data header, this header is where data, that is bytes of a file that is being transmitted, is stored. Next, we'll come on to discuss how the process of a connection via UDP differs from that of something such as TCP. We should recall that UDP is stateless. No acknowledgement is sent during a connection. The diagram below shows a normal UDP connection between Alice and Bob. In real life, this would be between two devices. Right, so Bob makes the request, right? Bob asks something, needs something. Alice responds back with everything. Okay. And we had also 4 questions. What does the term UDP stand for? User Datagram Protocol. What type of connection is UDP? Stateless. What protocol would use the transfer file would be used to transfer a file? That's TCP. And what protocol would you use to have a video call? That's UDP.